base is on.
No, we're just chilling right now. So.
Celebrated Kwanzaa growing up in church. We celebrate Christmas and Kwanzaa.
I never celebrated Kwanzaa.
The most I learned was from that one Proud Family episode.
Yeah, that's literally all I know about Kwanzaa. And then in school, we sing this song called Ujima. Ujima, let us work together to solve our problems with collective work and responsibility. That's all I know.
You got time more than I did.
I would love to, Deanna, if I could, if you would let me make one emote, it would literally just be me drinking water and be like, hydrated.
If you want me to, I'll make a note about that.
Please
make a note of it. Do it.
Because y'all are going to be seeing me drink a lot of water because lately, I now found I have to drink way more than drink.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not good, but it's also like I'd rather do that and live.
Well, yeah, there is that thing about living.
I do for live. Yeah.
Go ahead and start if you can. Like, if you have any like last minute posts you want to do about this, you can do that since we are on.
Okay.
Let's see.
Everybody get mad at me. She's like, "You're streaming. I'm just getting in the house."
Okay, I'm gonna check.
I didn't even see you repost this. This is so nice, Deanna.
Of course, dude.
What was that?
Oh, fucking poster.
Okay.
Yep. Last minute. Really?
I just changed my headphones. Does the audio sound worse?
That sounds better, honestly.
Oh, okay, never mind.
This is Kingdom Hearts' way of telling me to shut the hell up. I can just tell.
No.
I'm using like a really old tape because I don't have nothing else. Actually, you know what? Where's the rest of my tape?
Where'd my case go? What the heck?
Okay, alright. Jackbox is ready to go whenever we are ready. So that's good. Fantastic. So yeah.
Okay, give me like 5 minutes. Almost done.
Okay, who is watching? Is it any of us that is watching right now?
No, I'm not on the stream.
Okay.
I'm not either.
I'm about to click.
Put it on.
Because if I put it on, it's just I'm gonna need to hear my own voice, and then it's gonna bug the crap out of me.
Oh, wait, Mickey, would you want the emote to say, like, hydrate or dihydrate?
Dehydrate.
I mean, if you just wanted
You
to
like
say
it?
hydrate, but...
It would say dehydrate. So I didn't think about it. I was like, because it's me, I feel like it would be dehydrate.
But you hydrate to live.
Oh, Lewis just subscribed.
Okay.
And the alerts work, and I changed them so it's not the zombie anymore. So it doesn't look terrible for our brand.
Okay. Sora is back where he's supposed to be. Now I'm trying to get back to where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. I'm gonna say 11:15. We get this party started.
Sounds good to me.
So it is someone. So it is somebody different. I was like, okay, thank goodness. No one's like, please don't watch the stream. It'll give you
At
inertia.
this.
Oh, it's so cute.
So at a GameStop that I went to go get a GameStop that Kendra and I went to go get just some last minute gifts and stuff like that, and to see if we can find a Switch SSD.
Mm-hmm.
All this, you know, like those Japanese capsule. All this, you know, like those Japanese capsule. For a bunch of them that were in there, and there was this one Kirby. There was one that was for Sailor Moon with pendants, but it was broken.
Oh,
I showed
how
you.
convenient.
Very inconvenient. Let me put this thing in a more convenient spot. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Alright, are we?
I am.
Right, yes.
Last minute hair touches. Yeah, we're good.
I actually like the messy bun look. I think it's pretty cute.
My hair is just gonna do whatever it wants. I'm gonna let it.
Okay, I just have hair sticking up.
Living, breathing anime girl.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first ever Twitch episode of our podcast series, Kira Kira Discusses. We're very excited to transfer over to Twitch and do a more live format of our show, so we could get more live reactions and things of that nature. I'm Shayla. I am one of the producers of Kira Kira Studios. I've also one of the co-hosts for tonight. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
We just go down the line.
Yeah, let's just go down the line. Let's do it. Anyone can start.
Deanna.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know if anybody else wanted to start or not.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Deanna. I'm one of the co-hosts for the podcast. I generally do a bunch of like the anime discussions, and I try to get out as much news through that forefront as much as possible.
Thank you. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next again with. So my name's Darian. I am your resident crackhead and video game enthusiast.
Oh boy. Okay.
I usually provide most video game knowledge, whatever you gotta do, and as you can see just from my background alone, I'm a big fan of Square Enix, praise the lords.
Lovely. All right, that leaves you, Mickey. Wait, who are you?
All right, I am your secondary resident crackhead.
No, we're not crackheads.
Who's also a K-pop enthusiast, as well as I also work through Kira Kira Studios as an animator for short films, as well as just enthusiast for a lot of things that are 2D and 3D animation based.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also really big on food, so if you feed me, there's a more than likely chance you'll be able to cook.
Yep, that's very much true.
Yeah.
So what better? We're thinking like in terms of this Twitch stream, since it is the last Tuesday in 2020. That we can all say 2020 was a pretty tumultuous and crazy year for all of us. 3 out of the 4 of us did graduate in this year that we call 2020. I'm not going to call it what it is, simply because, I mean, we say no cursing, but, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Like, 2020 was pretty much a hell year. Where, like, for me, it wasn't so bad. Like, it was like, but I know for more people, it was like, Pete, you lost somebody, and you, like, you know, with everything going on, we literally had to survive a pandemic. Nothing that we've ever done before. And so, graduating and trying to navigate, like, graduate life in a pandemic, as well as our resident Darian, she's still in school. And with her still in school, that's a whole nother discussion of just how crazy the system is. But we're not here for that. We're going to try and move past what's going on right now and discuss our year in review, reflect, discuss things that got us through 2020 like the most, and made us forget that there was trash going outside that we could not control. So basically that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to be discussing 4 different categories, because I feel like if we had all the categories, we would kind of be here all night. And we kind of want to get into some fun stuff too. We do have some games we want to play. Yeah. But we're just going to discuss 4 categories tonight. 1 in TV and movies, anime, music, and then video games. And we'll discuss which our top 3 for all of us that really got us through this year and really helped us get through what's going on this year. I know, like I was saying, with me, 2020 was kind of a win some, you lose some situation. Like, I did graduate college, but I mean, I couldn't celebrate with people. I couldn't have the big parties, and to be honest, like, once they told us how to come back to school, it was like I didn't get to see my friends for a long time, and but then I got engaged, and then I got married like 3 weeks ago, and so like it's like, you know, like I was saying, it's honestly a situation where it's like you win some, you lose some situation. But definitely this year could have gone a little better. You know, how are y'all feeling about this?
Tired. Just
total loss.
tired.
I'm gonna lie, it wasn't awful, but it was also like I was just faced with more disappointment. Also, I really feel like it could have been much better and handled much better, especially for, you know, pandemic. I couldn't go see my friends. It was so weird for graduation. It was so weird. Like I could barely even celebrate with my own family because I was trying to be so careful. It was so weird.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, I literally had to celebrate, which wasn't bad. I mean, I celebrated with my mom and my husband at our house, and we couldn't celebrate with like family and extended friends. Extended family and friends. It was like, it was nice, but also I knew like it could have gone a lot better than what it did. But yeah, any more thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, with school, it was just another pain in the butt. Made it even more difficult with online courses. It wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be, but it was certainly stressful. Especially with my art classes having to be adjusted for that as well. I can honestly say I learned a lot about myself from school alone, but I also know I never want to do that again with any hope.
Yeah.
So graduation notwithstanding, I mean, I'm happy that the show got moved, that I can go ahead and have my own little art show next semester. I really just, at least that's one weight lifted off my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, just trying to be optimistic.
Right, definitely. What about you, Deanna?
Well, at least one good thing that came out of 2020.
Yes, we did start our show. That's another thing I'm not forgetting. We
Oh
started
yeah.
Let's not forget.
I'm the one I said it.
Let's not forget we started this fantastic show, and we used it as a vehicle to like talk to each other, and as well as just talk about things that, you know, that were coming up. And like it came at a really great, not a tremendously great time, but like it also came at a time where, like, you know, I think we had our first episode, and then literally the second episode, George Floyd and black protests started happening, and I really had to be like, okay, this is important to us as women of color, 3 black, 1 Latinx, 1 Latina. I was like, how do we go forward? Because it couldn't be something that we couldn't ignore. And so I remember I was like, I don't know if we should talk about it. And so I would ask you guys, I was like, hey, do you think we should talk about George Floyd and the protests? And you guys magnanimously agreed that we should be doing this, that we should discuss it in our second episode. And I think it set the stage for like how we continued with our season and how we like discuss culture and movies and stuff with the mindset of like, we're doing this so we can get awareness that like we exist as women of color. We exist in the sphere of like we enjoy entertainment, and it's something that you shouldn't ignore, for sure. And I'm really happy that we continue with that instead of ignoring that elephant in the room tremendously. And I really appreciated how we went about it, especially with our guests, and how we continued on with our guests, asking them the conscious questions of like, how are you working through the pandemic, and then protests, and then how is your business proceeded as well. I think that was really good to hear from a lot of the people that we had on the show. Which, speaking of our guests, we did have a lot of guests. We had what?
Oh, sorry, I was saying it was so interesting to hear how some of our guests have been going through the year and their businesses were flourishing. Like one guest that we had for Marcus the Visual. Dear God, like I met him literally when I first saw his stuff on Instagram, and then the very next year or something, within that same year, I met him at Oak City Comic Con in Raleigh, and eyes were bugging out of my head because I was like, "How are you here? What?" That's how he makes his money all the time, just going to conventions.
Yeah. like livelihoods were like uprooted, and so it was like asking like how are you working through it, and are you okay? It's like asking those very conscious questions. I think was really great to hear from our guests, and then having artists and creators alike, like Jackie I, was a great honor to interview her and her business, and she's doing a wonderful job trying to create an industry basically in what's in the entertainment industry, which is fantastic. And getting to talk to my now mentor Bree from Black and Animated, it was wonderful hearing about the animation industry and what we can do to be a part of that, and getting an inside look at how they're dealing with it, because obviously they have they had to take a conscious look and be like, how are we representing Black people, and who do we go to represent Black culture and Black creators. And I think that they're still doing, like, it's definitely not as loud as it used to be, but like I think they're still trying to make conscious efforts of like, we want representation, and we're going to continue doing that, especially with all of the things that came out of this year animation wise, with Black creators getting their due diligence and things of that nature. So I'm very happy about that. So that's one good thing that came out of 2020 as well. What else, you guys? Anything you guys want to name real quick?
Explosion of TikTok for me. Just that's my own personal thing. I did not think I was going to get into TikTok. I didn't, but that has probably been one of the low-key lighter sides, even though for a while we thought that it was going to disappear, and then I was just But it's really interesting to see how a lot of content creators, especially person of color content creators, have kind of made their like standing as a creator on just TikTok. Because I remember when TikTok used to be Musically, and then Musically was Dub Smash. She wasn't my age. Like, you see how far back it's gone and how people have been able to evolve, and it feels like the whole thing where it's like a TikTok creators fund. I thought that was pretty interesting, because like it was able to show that TikTokers can have those funds made to get out their work, but it's also a safer way, because a lot of the TikTokers that I follow and everything, not a lot of them have to have in-person jobs because they're able to have an income using it. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I'm surprised I did not get into TikTok. I was very close to getting into TikTok, but I did not.
Same here.
I still am a firm believer that Vine is the better platform. I wish Vine would come back.
Yeah, absolutely. I never say it's not. Yeah, Vine's superior. It will always be. It will never be. TikTok is more of just like it's like in my opinion, TikTok to me kind of feels like a weird Vine 2.0. It's not better, but it's also not worse. It's definitely not worse than.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up there somewhere. It hits that nice little middle line.
You gotta stay away from the weird sides of TikTok, because I almost hit it at one point, and then I was just like, nope, algorithm, stop it.
Yeah. But yeah, so Diana, looks like you're thinking.
I'm thinking, like, I didn't really like use TikTok, so I can't really say. I only went on there when like one of our friends and also one of our guests, like Chloe, would post on there, and then I kind of lost my password to sign in for my new phone, so I kind of had to stop that.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like part of me is inching closer to TikTok as like it keeps getting more and more popular, but honestly, like, I'm totally comfortable with the fact that Instagram is trying to do TikTok, and I'm like, that's great.
Yeah,
that's as far as I'm gonna go. But I'm not getting an account. You cannot make me as a millennial.
Nah, I just look at the videos that my mom shows me, and that's usually Russian roulette every now and then. I'm gonna get something really gross, really creepy, or really funny, and I never know which.
Yeah.
I like the
Right, how TikTok is.
For a while, I liked the skating videos, and that made me get my own pair of skates. So, I mean, but that's the extent of it. But yeah, so like I was saying, we're gonna just do our year in review for all of us, and we're just gonna like go through different categories and discuss like from 3 being like the low part of what got you through 2020 to the top one, which is like it greatly helped me get through the hell year that was 2020. And we're gonna start off with, I think, our tried and true video games. I think video games had a huge impact this 2020 with the fact that we were stuck in our houses and like, you know, people at home, they're like, well, if you haven't gotten to video games now, then this is the best time to do it. And I totally 100% agree with that, because like it helped me get back into playing PS4 games, and then I actually bought a Switch and got into playing Switch. And so for me, my tier list, I'm going to start off with the number 3. The number 3 spot that I give to a video game that helped me get through 2020 at the time was Tell Me Why by Don't Nod. I think Tell Me Why, when I saw that game, I realized that like it has a lot of parallels with like people that I know, because I'm an ally of the LGBT community and transgender people. And so this story, I think, is it's so impactful that it doesn't, first off, it doesn't like make being like one of the main characters is transgender. He's a transgender male. They don't make it part of, they make it part of his story, but it's also really not part of his story. They're not saying, look at this transgender man, woo, you know, they basically humanized him and made him, you know, this person, and made this, you know, like, wow, I can see myself, other people can see himself, like him and other people, you know, if you get what I'm saying, like, and then, like, the story was it was good, like, you know, it was trying to figure out, basically, without spoilers, it was basically, like, the 2 twins, who had been separated, they're trying to figure out what happened to their mother, and, like, what happened to their mother, and through some twists and turns find out, you know, that maybe things are not what they seem. And it's like, it is one twisting road where you think it's going to go one way and it takes you down a back road. And I'm like, whoa, I did not think that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know, Mickey, you said you, like, Tell Me Why as well.
I absolutely fell in love. Like, I was watching at least 2 or 3 different people play it, but the main person that I saw was one of my favorite black YouTuber named Jazzy Guns. I absolutely love her. Tell Me Why, in watching her play it, I felt like I was watching, like, just, yeah, you could definitely see that Tyler is who's the male lead. Like, his story is extremely impactful, but it also doesn't seem like it's just because he is a transgender male that's all that's about him. You also see that he's still very resilient. He's going to stand up and say that he sees something wrong. Like, and it also shows a lot of some things that I can connect to. Like, this is without this, I'm not going to spoil exactly anything, but I can at least tell some of the that are in Tell Me Why, like exploring mental health. That's one of the things that was like really stuck out to me, and it was so well done. Yeah. And as well, relationships. That was really well done. As a big sister, it really felt like I was watching the dumb stuff that my younger siblings would do. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was...
Yeah, I agree. Like, they definitely tackled mental health, because with Tyler's character, he was living in a home where he was able to talk to therapists on a regular basis and work out what happened with his mother, where his sister did not get that mental treatment. And so you can see that firsthand in the game, where like what the difference between them, where one got the mental help that they need, and the other one for this event, and while the other still has not got any mental health. health and is struggling to process what's happening, and she's willing to like bury it down, while Tyler is the one who's willing to come forward and figure out what's going on, because he's had his time. Like, he's found closure to an extent. He's found closure, and now he just wants to know, as the story says, why. Rather than like burying it down and being like, it is what it is, which his sister is very comfortable with doing. So I really appreciate that theme of the game. But yeah, anyone else? What'd you say, Nikki?
Sorry, I was just gonna say my last thought was really, or tell me why. One of the things that really stuck out was just saying, tell me why. I feel like the whole theme was getting closure over a traumatic event. No spoilers, but yes, that is basically the theme of the game, trying to find closure over an extremely traumatic event. But it also shows another thing that I see, like, see how sometimes you have a family that will have siblings that will either absolutely love each other or can't stand each other, but there's always reasons why. People should say, there's a whole thing where it's like, it doesn't matter how similar your experiences were growing up. It does not, or with the opportunities that you were given. You may have lived in the same household as another person, like with your brother or sister, but you always grow up to be two completely different people. And you don't expect it until you're never think about that until you're an adult.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share their top three? Their not top three, but like their third favorite or one of their favorite video games that got through them through 2020.
Yeah. I'll tell mine because I'm gonna talk.
Oh god.
It's embarrassing.
Okay, it can't be that embarrassing.
How so?
Okay, now you gotta spill.
Alright, now because Darian said something, you go next.
Fine, I will.
Well, everyone's got to go. So let me make it clear. Everyone's got to go. So you do what you need to do. Like,
honestly, it was hard making this list, but I have to say this one definitely makes the top three. Probably number 3, close to number 2, because it literally threw me in an existential crisis. Like, number 3 would have to be near Automata or near Automata, however you want to pronounce that last part.
For a second, I thought that it was gonna be. I felt Deanna. I was like, I thought it was gonna be something else. I thought it was gonna be the thing that she was crying over. I thought it was gonna be that.
No.
I mean, it's probably on the list. It's probably on the list.
You'll never know. But honestly, I was not expecting much from this game. I really wasn't. I was expecting like a fun little, hack and slash, just a lot of stuff, a lot of nonsense, because that's usually what I end up doing anyway. But this is the first time I actually cried over a game, and I didn't know why I was crying. Like, I was just hurt in a whole nother way. Like, not even like emotionally, just existentially. It made me think about, like, I'm not trying to get into like spoilers or anything like that in case you want to actually go out and buy the game. But it goes a lot into existentialism. It's going to seem weird and odd, and it's not going to make any sense at first. It seems like it has a cut and dry plot. Like, if you don't know like the base story, it's you basically just play as androids going out fighting a long ass war. I can't remember how long, 1,000 years, over a millennia war, fighting alien machines to protect humanity, who happens to live on the moon for some bizarre reason. Don't. But it honestly made me think a lot more about humanity in general. What counts as humanity? What gives you the right to live, to feel, to do all of these things? What makes you different? What makes something a machine and something human? Or what counts as human in general, if anything? Like, what is human? And by the end of that game,
I feel like I'm back to Bailey's class. I don't like this. Wait.
honestly, I think Bailey would appreciate that. Bailey being our art philosophy instructor. But there's a lot of...
Please no. I have way too many flashbacks to that class.
That is something Bailey would probably appreciate. But I digress. It was a excellent game in terms of just moral story, if that makes any sense. Like, it's still kind of, it feels like a bunch of nonsense, but honestly, I really liked it. Compared to a lot more of Yoko Taro's past games, and we're not going to mention that too much, since he does not have a good track record when it comes to developers. He outdid himself with this one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him out. I'm sorry, but you cannot. It's mostly. It's not even the. It's not the developer's fault. It's mostly just who he chooses, what company chooses to develop it. That's mainly the issue. But I digress. He outdid himself, and it honestly just made me think a little bit more about who I am as a person, what I can do, and just kind of put these thoughts into perspective. If that makes any sense. It's like, it didn't really teach me anything, but it definitely struck a chord.
Yeah.
Big chord.
I think that's good. I think that's what makes a game good. If it strikes a chord, and it makes you think about it.
Absolutely. If a game strikes a chord with me, I don't care how stupid it seems, I'm gonna like it. That is my number 3.
Yeah. Alright, Deanna.
Mickey.
Or Deanna, I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Do you want to go first, Mickey? I think my game is a bit more embarrassing to put on this list.
It doesn't matter.
Everyone share the embarrassment.
Yeah.
I don't really have a whole lot of video games that I've been playing that I guess on my list that has really gotten me through the year. Like, obviously, I was finally able to play Kingdom Hearts 3. This was more of a distraction, but the game that actually got me through this year, specifically over the summer, is going to be. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
I don't know why.
We didn't hear it.
Wait, say it again?
Say it again, we didn't hear you.
Slime Rancher?
Yes.
I can't understand that, honestly.
Oh no, Mickey. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, we didn't hear
I'm
it.
dying on my end. Oh no.
Hold on. Okay, am I back? Am I coming through clear?
Yeah, it just keeps keeps cutting out when you're saying it, and it makes it like
It's okay.
Let me try moving my mic over here. Okay, I've also got my isolation screen, so if anyone sees what that is, that's the phone. Slime Rancher has gotten me through this year, specifically over the summer, because I don't know why, because normally I am not a person who plays this type of video game. Like, the big 3 video games that I play are some sort of fighting game or hacking, or literally like just, it's literally Kingdom Hearts, Soul Calibur / Tekken. I can't choose a favorite between those two, and God of War. So how this bouncing, bubbly slime thing came through, I don't know, but for me, because I didn't have any money nor the resources to find a Switch, I wasn't able to get into Animal Crossing, even though I still want to, but Slime Rancher was essentially my Animal Crossing, because it felt like I was in a completely different world where I didn't have to worry about everything that was going on this year. I was just able to take care of slimes and make cool-looking different breeds and stuff like that. That's all I was focused on.
Gotcha, yeah. Well, I would say my Animal Crossing is Animal Crossing because since I said I did pick up a Switch, this is my number 2. But Animal Crossing, New Horizons, yeah.
Same.
Which one was that for you, Deanna? Was that 2 or 3?
Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah. What's your 3? Let's go. Just go ahead and say 3.
So for me, my 3rd favorite game of the year was Genshin Impact. I'm not that big of a gamer, so my brother had kind of destroyed our PS4, so I ended up playing it on my phone. It's still so much fun. I saw your worry. It still works, but I think he ended up using it in the middle of like lightning here. And she forgot to disconnect it, so
Unplug your electronics,
I
kiddos.
failed on him.
Mickey!
But
I need to hold my queries. Let me
But
just,
yeah, Genshin Impact was one of my favorite.
I had to grab the whole reindeer.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, especially with like how gotcha games are, I think so for a free game, it's pretty expansive. Like I didn't understand the wide breadth of like the gameplay that you get with it. Like the game gives you I think like 4 or 5 like free characters, which is a lot to be honest. And after that, of course you can pull for more characters. You can try and get 5-star, 4-star characters. Recently got Albedo or Albedo, however you pronounce his name. So I'm so happy about that. He's my first 5-star. I'm so proud of that.
Awesome.
And I didn't realize like how much of a clone for Breath of the Wild it was until I started playing it too.
Oh wow. Oh, real quick.
It's really fun for a clone.
Real quick. Thank you, Shy.
Oh, what was that?
Oh, I was just saying. We had a follower. Shy Cute Weirdo. Thank you so much for following us. Yes. Go ahead and continue. Sorry.
Thankies.
Thank you. We have dropping the mic everywhere. Y'all are gonna see any viewers are gonna see more of that. Just saying.
Don't hurt yourself.
Not know who I am.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good point.
But yes, and then well that's good. Well, I heard a lot about Genshin Impact. It kind of came out of nowhere, and then like YouTubers would do like sponsorship videos, and I'm like, is this for real? Is this a raid? Shadow Legends? I don't know. Like, well, it's like that. Like YouTubers will be like, it's time for raid.
I played Raid.
I've never played it before in my life. I just see like the ads and I'm like, I just skip them. Like I don't care. I don't care. Skip. 5 seconds.
Oh same honestly.
Yeah. But going to number 2, Animal Crossing was my number 2. I picked it up for Switch. Literally, like I had high hopes for the game. Like I thought, like Animal Crossing was gonna win Game of the Year, just for the fact that for a long time during the pandemic, like Animal Crossing was one of the biggest games that. First of all, when everything was locked down, it was either Doom Eternal or Animal Crossing that you were playing, and 2, like. It was still becoming like one of the highest grossing games, and people didn't even have like a Switch because for a while Switch productions went down, and it was literally becoming impossible to find a Switch. Like there's price gouging and everything. Luckily, I was able to find a Switch on Amazon, but it was still a very popular game, even though it was becoming literally impossible to find a Switch. And it was just like I put a lot of time. On my island, I love my island. I love the person because I love the personality you can give your island, and the villagers, and it's like this is my first Animal Crossing game, and I see the hype now. It's so calming and nice and cute, and really if you're a person that you feel like you need to escape but you cannot go anywhere, then that's the game for you. And I think it really did the great job helping people escape from what was going on in a very cute and cuddly little way. And Tom Nook's stealing all my money. That scammer. Anyway,
Tom Nook is saying
money.
I'm sorry, I'm calling out now.
He says it so kind of you still have $1,000 to pay for this thing. You better go pay it. I wish there was a meme. Is there a meme out there where Tom Nook has a switchblade? He's like, you better get me my money.
There has to be one somewhere. That dude's a loan shark.
Basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to share?
Yeah, there's bound to be a meme out there of that.
Does anybody else have want to share the number 2?
Kingdom Hearts 3 for me, just because when I was finally able to play it,
I was very happy, but I was also just sitting here like, I know I got into it late, and I purposely got into it late because I almost never get brand new video games unless I'm invested into it. And the reason why I was very invested in Kingdom Hearts. I'm very invested in Kingdom Hearts and God of War, but I didn't have any money at the time, so I had no choice but to wait.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with just seeing how far the video games have come for Kingdom Hearts. I was watching my boyfriend play through 1 because I had just got 3, so he wanted to play through all the other ones before then, except Chain of Memories, because we don't touch that shit. Don't touch Chain of Memories. We hate Chain of Memories.
I don't care about the heart card shit. I ain't touching that anymore. No.
Oh.
I never got past the first boss still.
So that's my second.
Anybody else like to share? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. It was just hard to find a second favorite. You know, as far as any new games I bought, I'm saving the best for last. I have a feeling like y'all know what it is already. But I honestly think the second one that actually got me through Corona was probably Jak and Daxter.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's like, it's an old childhood game that I used to watch my mother play all the time, and then she gave the game to me and my siblings, and then we would play it all the time. And it was just, it's a comfort thing. It's a nice little straightforward story. You get your collectibles, you move on, you know, A to B to C, equaling to D, and then it was just relaxing. Well, I can't say relaxing because I can't tell you how many times I wanted to break my controller, but it was just nice going back and playing a game that I know, you know, like the back of my hand. I know each step, even though it still frustrates me, and it kind of just took me back into a mindset like when I was still a kid, you know, when things weren't on fire.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have Jak 2 or 3 yet, but I'm working on that.
Play on stream? Question mark.
I might, but be warned that I am not the best gamer out there, but I will do my damnedest to get through it.
I don't think you have to be a great gamer to be a great streamer. I think you just have to, you know, have the heart and, you know, stuff like that.
I will do my best.
Yeah.
For the most part. But just know you're going to see a lot of failure.
That's all good. All right, and now we go to the penultimate. The number 1 games that got us through 2020. For me, I'm going to be real with you guys. So, Animal Crossing would have been, if we were saying the thing that I played the most in 2020, it would be Animal Crossing. But if we're talking the game that really impacted me most and I was very excited for, and I'm really happy that I was able to play it in 2020, then the number 1 spot goes to No Straight Roads. No, I've been following this. I've been following this game for a while, like since it was from the beginning, and then it came out this year, and I got it for Switch, and it's just as amazing as I knew it was going to be, and it breaks my heart that nobody recognizes how great this game is. It's literally from a Filipino studio, I think. Yeah, Filipino studio.
Whoa!
Like it is a Filipino-made game. One of the creators worked on Street Fighter V and Final Fantasy. I don't know which Final Fantasy, but he worked on several games, and so he started his own studio and he created this game. It's a very indie game. Like literally, I think the studio is like probably the size of a classroom. It's not that many people, and they worked on this rhythm beat 'em up game where these two characters, Zeke and Mayday, they're trying to defeat the EDM empire with rock because they're rock stars, and they defeat the EDM empire with rock. And the rhythm part comes into play where each character that they play against has a different style of music. So one is classical, one is vaporwave, one is like Hatsune Miku, whatever you would call that, like genre of music, and one is like EDM.
Vocaloid.
What's it called?
Yeah. Vocaloid.
Vocaloid.
Vocaloid, yeah, Vocaloid. Because
I love how me and Deanna were on the same wavelength with that.
and so like it's
I love Vocaloid.
right. Then you'll love like
Same.
Seiyu. Seiyu is like she's literally like a Hatsune Miku but mermaid. Like she's a mermaid Hatsune Miku.
Oh, I've seen that character so many times.
And her song is like my favorite
Yeah,
one.
Seiyu.
It's so cute. But I love the play. Like you get to go between two of them, and you use like music and rhythm to basically defeat them. And the music is on point. Like the people who made this music, it's fantastic. I love it. I can listen to this music all day. It's just amazing, and like it just feels like if this game is my favorite, but it also is the most underrated because no one is talking about it. Like people love the style, but no one's talking about it, and it got like average reviews. And I'm like, this game needs to be seen more. This is an amazing game and an amazing effort from a small team that are people of color. It's like it's not fair, and that's why it's my favorite because I feel like it's my duty to tell people to play No Straight Roads. It's on I think every platform, Switch, PS4, Xbox. I will probably once we do game streaming on this channel, I will probably be playing it. But yeah, like. It's a great game. Go play No Straight Roads. Who like to share their number one?
Mine isn't a 2020 game, but it's one that I saw becoming more popular in 2020, and I'm really happy about it. But for me, it's got to be Black Sad Under.
You cut out again.
Oh, sorry. It's Black Sad Under the Skin. Like literally, if you ever want to see a film noir version of Beastars, it's that fucking game.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I have seen that game.
Yeah, I want to
It's
finish that
literally,
game.
like, and it basically takes place during the 1940s/1950s. Like it is so much that happens in the span of it, and you're basically playing through the point of view of you're playing through the point of view. I'm trying to bring it up on right up here. So Black Sad Under the Skin was made by a Spanish company, Pendulo Studios, and it's published by Microids. And it's the video game adaptation of the Spanish comic book series Black Sad. Like it's literally a video game that came straight from a graphic novel in Spain.
I need to get that comic.
It's really nicely done. If you look it up, like it's really awesome. It's like it's very film noir. Like it's the whole thing of like the detective goes undercover for numerous things. He tries to help out the sweet dame that's in distress, that sort of thing. But it has so many dark undertones to it. Like I will go ahead and say that there are some trigger warnings within the game where if you're not comfortable with it, don't play this game because, like I said, it takes place in the 40s.
Oh, so not pleasant.
Night passing. But for animals, think about that for a minute. Like I said, like it covers those sort of topics, but it does it so well. So good.
Okay, if it does it well, if it's within the time period, I can't get upset about it.
It's within the time period, but it's also like it doesn't necessarily have like like obscenities, but you can definitely tell that there's still that form of racial divide. But it's like it's a really really nicely done murder mystery game. Like that's basically what it is, a murder mystery game. But it has like the biggest conspiracy that to ever happen in a murder mystery game, and it's all revolving around literally just one dude. It's the basis is you're trying to solve the murder of this one man who owns a boxing studio, who owns a boxing company, a boxing what's it called, gym? Yeah, a boxing.
Yeah.
Like it. You would never think that there's somebody else that goes on in this game around this one dude, this whole dude, who's just a retired boxer.
Oh, fun.
yeah, so sorry. It takes ironically, Black Sad Under the Sun is set in New York City during the 1950s. It takes place chronologically between the storylines for Black Sad, Arctic Nation, and Red Skull.
Okay.
Okay. Well, adding that to the list.
All right. Anybody else want to share their number one picks?
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out of the park. I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out. Y'all already know what it is, and if y'all heard our podcast before, you've heard me rant about this multiple times. The game that got me through 2020 the most, hands down, was Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I can explain why without fangirling, I promise.
One with Sephiroth's flowing gray hair.
I will smack you with my notebook through the camera. I will do it. Don't get me started. I'm still getting over that Smash reveal. But I got this game like right when the lockdown happened, right when school ended, early, sometime in April. And the minute I got it, I basically just started screaming and jumping. I was like, yes, this 2020 is not going to be as terrible as I think it is. Spoke too soon, but I digress. Mm-hmm. It was a game I've been waiting for like 10 years or so, and I played the game when I was really, really little. So probably a little too little to actually play it, but you know, if you don't tell anybody, I'm gonna tell nobody. Mm-hmm. But it just holds a very special place in my heart to see all of these characters revamped, recreated, and the story has been adjusted to the point where they added a lot of context. Much needed context that makes the story a little less confusing. But, like, less confusing than the original. And while the new plot points and all of that, I will not get into it, and all of that gets very, very twisty, to the point where it's kind of a little bit aggravating, I still liked it. Like, some of the music in the game, like, I remember hearing the original soundtrack and listening to that on repeat, and listening to it revamped and just reorchestrated had me in chills. It was just fun. Like, just playing the game. Like, I was, like, in the middle of a battle once, and the music just kicked up. It's like the beat dropped, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there laughing and having fun. It's like, and that's what kind of got me through it. I got to readjust myself to all these characters that I know by heart, well, nearly by heart, and play a story that's both familiar and new. It's not a story that a lot of people like. I can understand that to a certain degree. Like, I've met plenty of people that don't like Final Fantasy VII at all, and I can actually get it to a certain extent. But you gotta at least admit that the game was at least fun. That the gameplay was solid, music was on point.
Music was incredible.
Absolutely incredible. But it was just one of those things where I got to replay my childhood in HD. I got to see Cloud again in a new way where I actually understand him a little bit better. They actually showed his own, I won't get into it, his own mental processes and what he's actually going through. It gives you hints. Like, even if you're a first timer, you know something is wrong. Right? You may not know until the second part, but you know something is wrong and something's not right. Which never really, I don't think really got through in the, well, it did get through in the original, but not as sharply as it did in the remake, which I can appreciate. But loved it all to the end. Sephiroth can go ahead and go take his shampoo using butt somewhere else, because honestly, he can just go somewhere and hide. And I cannot wait for part 2. Oh yeah, and Tom Ferris can go ahead and just get out of here. I do not like those 2-foot-tall lizard gremlins.
Oh.
If y'all don't know,
Forever traumatized by Tom Berries.
Why did they give them butcher knives? They're only 2 feet tall and they look so cute. But they have this deep freaking voice.
Oh my gosh.
Like, all I'm hearing is just kind of sitting here, die. And I'm like, holy frick, I literally flinched. But that's my number 1 pick. Sticking with it. Good.
Nice. Deanna?
I think my favorite for the year has to be Minecraft. Of course,
Has been doing pretty good stuff lately.
Yeah.
yeah, like of course it didn't come out this year, but it helped me like get through a lot of the year because playing it with friends, it's just a lot of fun whenever like we had our Realms account, and then creating my own world, and then seeing my chicken in my house that I named Penelope, just seeing her every day, just lit up my world, my dimless world at the time. And then of course my like 20 dogs and like my 10 cats. So I'm living the dream. I accidentally bred them, so I'm left with 20.
Like, I now have accidentally 20 dogs and cats. This is my life now. I have no regrets. But yeah, thank you so much for those video game picks. And now we're off to the races with our next category, anime. We're all going to be here at Kira Studios. Have disappointed you guys because we haven't watched a lot of anime this year, but we still got you on.
I watched a lot at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning. Well, actually, I watched one at the beginning, and then it just got worse from there. But we still have a couple of picks. It won't be 3, but I'll go ahead and let's just go ahead and do our top 1 since we already know that it was kind of weird this year for anime. Like I was telling you guys, is like I wanted to be that person who was like, yeah, I'm going to watch more anime, and then I didn't, and then I'm like, oh no, it's almost 2021. So it's like, but even them were not devoid of being affected from COVID, because a lot of the anime from I think winter season had to get, or spring, spring had a lot of postponed stuff happen if it wasn't already in production already.
I think it was summer
or spring.
Yeah,
summer or spring had a lot of anime postponed on
I
us,
think summer.
and that kind of messed up my spring season where I was really excited for some of the anime, and then it got postponed, and I was and then I kind of forgot to watch it. So that's where I was at. But I would say my top choice for my anime, because I watched a couple, I had to make a list. I made a list to make sure I realized what did I watch this year. But I'm going to go ahead and say that my top choice was Hands Off My Isoken. There's a lot to love in Hands Off My Isoken, one, because I think it parallels our journey a little bit. We're a little studio trying to make animation, and the 3 main characters are trying to make a little animation, and I don't know, they just kind of have talent up the wazoo, the 3 of them. Well, one of them is the ideas person, and then 2 is this person is a great artist and animator, which is amazing. And then the 3rd one is just a great production manager, which is obviously everyone. What's her name again? I forgot her name. The person that had I'm gonna look it up.
I'm trying to remember which was my absolute first one, because like I said, I didn't watch a lot of anime series, but I was really big onto specifically anime movies.
I say it still counts.
Yeah, it still counts. Yes, Kanamori. I am basically Kanamori. I'm the tall person that'll keep you in check. I do not like procrastination, and I will find the money, damn it.
Yeah.
About right.
I think once it came out, when I started watching Hands Off My Isoken, it became very clear that this is going to be in the top 20, regardless of what we knew was going to happen. I was like, this is going to be top 20. I can feel it in my heart. And as of this recording, we have no idea what the Crunchyroll Anime Awards are going to look like. But I would not be surprised if Hands Off My Isoken is going to be somewhere up there, whether it's Anime of the Year or Best Girl being Kanamori. I don't know. But yeah, my top choice goes to Hands Off. When I saw it, I immediately was like, yeah, this is this is going to be best of the year. This is best of the year material. And with the year that we had, it's not a hard choice. Hopefully. So yeah. But yeah, who else is top choice for anime or anime movies?
Oh, I just realized I actually do have a top choice for anime, and it's one that I've just grown to absolutely adore, and I'm looking specifically to purchase the full manga for. Like, I'm trying to purchase the full manga series, but my top one for my top anime of the year is Violet Evergarden.
Yeah,
it had me.
That made me cry.
It had me in literal tears, and the animation is just absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
my favorite thing about it wasn't even just the storyline. It was literally the ending theme where it's Violet doing the different walk cycles through the different 4 seasons and in the rain and stuff like that. I don't know why, but that's my favorite thing about the entire series, just that set of walk cycles, because it really shows that it kind of shows it in the series as well. But those walk cycles makes me think Violet's just trying to keep going. It's not showing necessarily any emotions or anything like that, but it's also showing how she's still able to keep that same steady pace, even though she's walking in the rain, she's walking in such windy areas, she's walking in the blazing heat. She's just pushing. She's still going. And that's what I thought was happening a lot within the anime as well. Like, if you haven't watched it now, go watch it. It's so good. And you will cry. If you don't have a heart. Literally heartless, and I natively bleed.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
Darian, you go on ahead.
Like everyone else, I have not watched any kind of anime, at least not a lot, all year. I don't know what was up with me, but I was going to say Future Diary as being my number one, so because I've been rewatching it a lot, and that's been connecting with me a little bit. But I think the number one spot has to go to the Ancient Magus Bride. Magus.
Let's go.
Magus?
Like, Magus? Magus?
Ancient Magus.
Magus? Magus. Yes, but I just found it to be adorable. Absolutely adorable. It touched all my little fantasy check marks. I really liked it. It was just something adorable, cute. I adore the main character. I adore, like, if you ever see, like, any kind of art for it, I actually really like I can't remember his name. Oh my god. But the dude with the deer skull for a head.
Yeah.
Actually really like him. He is funny.
Their storyline
In a way
makes
that's
me
not
think of
fun.
like a really wholesome, like a weird but also wholesome version of Beauty and the Beast.
It kind of is, and that's probably why I like it so much. I like to do like Beauty and the Beast a lot. And it kind of gives out that same vibe, but I just really liked it. Like, it was one of those things that I started watching as soon as school started. We watched it again and again until I got sick of it, and I need to get part 2. I managed to watch part 1.
I'll continue to say that, like, for some reason I thought Ancient Magus Bride was just an OVA, and I watched the OVA,
Oh,
and I didn't realize that it was an actual series, and I was like, oh, I forgot, whoopsies.
Oh, you probably got spoiled for that.
I wouldn't have known if I was spoiled because I didn't watch the series, so I don't even know if it was spoiled or not.
Fair
Oh
enough.
my god.
Fair enough. I didn't even think they had OVAs until he told me. I was like, okay, no, now I have something else to watch. But yeah, I think that's my top spot. It's just a really adorable show.
Yeah. All right, Deanna, cameraless Deanna, I will say.
Yeah.
So for 3, I've made it
She was
more
having some
general.
difficulties, but it's okay.
Yeah, my bad.
It's okay.
For me, that was weird. Yeah, for anime this year, I think I have to make it more general. I think for me, was it spring? Yeah, spring 2020 and then winter 2020 of like anime this year it just got me through the beginning of this year. It was rough this year.
Mm-hmm.
I had like COVID affected my family. I don't know how comfy I can say what all happened to me, but with like COVID affecting my family like so much as it did, like all that anime just helped me out. Some key factors, hopefully, hang on. Some winners were, of course, like interspecies reviewers. I'm putting myself on full blast for watching that. I really loved it. It was so funny and surprisingly informational in terms of like sex ed. Was not expecting that. I thought it was just going to be like, like silly, with all the NSFW stuff. Then there was like Darwin's Game, Toilet Bound, Hanako-kun, Dorohedoro. Sorry, I have to enunciate that.
Really good. I gotta finish watching it.
So good. And then, Isekai Quartet, the second season. I mean, I could go on, honestly, but I should probably leave it at that.
But what is your favorite one that got you through, do you think?
For the third spot?
Well, not the first spot.
I think.
I'm just gonna go ahead and do the first ones, because we didn't get to watch a whole lot, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's go with number one.
I guess I have to say, like, Beastars. Like, I rewatched that anime so much.
That's a good one. Weird.
Let me see. It's so good. I watched it maybe, like, 3-4 times. 3 times in Japanese and, like, once in English to see, like, how the dub was. It's pretty good. I think, like, how they deliver their lines was pretty good. I was kept in, which, unbeknownst to me, apparently Legacy's voice actor, I can't for the life of me remember what his name was, but apparently Legacy's, like, voice actor kept in, like, a bunch of stuff, like, for the anime when, like, it got, localized. And honestly, I have to respect that for him, because he's a big fan of the series. It was kind of like a dream role for him.
Like the English dub one?
What was that?
You said the English dub voice actor?
Yes, he was the English dub voice actor for Legacy.
Yeah, okay, so that's why Beastars is going on this year, because technically in America it came out this year. But but it technically came out last year. But regardless, I put Beastars as my number 3 because I'm like, yeah, this was really good and I enjoyed it a lot. But it was just a technicality of like it came out last year, and I was like, I don't know, but I know in terms of award season, it's gonna be considered for this year. So that's why I put Beastars a little bit lower. But honestly, I feel like I had more fun with Hands Off My Eizouken. But I mean, I had equal fun with both of them. But like, yeah, definitely, I can see how Beastars should be definitely on everybody's list this year. And I know how much you loved Beastars, Diana.
The manga, like, recently, and it just... I love it, but I'm torn, like, how it ends. Yeah. I'm not gonna say how.
Yeah, I
need to calm down before I start to say stuff.
Yeah, don't say anything. I'm gonna try and read it and get through that. But yeah, that's everyone's anime choice. And now we are off to music. Music played an important part this year because it helped us once again escape from all the stuff going on. Music was a big influencer, and as of always, since I think Spotify started it last year, they started doing the 2020 wrap up with saying how much. What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did. They started last year with the end of the year wrap ups.
Yeah, so end of the year wrap up, and so I thought it would be fun to include music. I mean, regardless if you had Spotify or not, to see like what did you listen to and what artists influenced you this year. And so with my top choice. I'm gonna go ahead and do top choices. We'd have 3, but I'm gonna do top choices. My top choice, I was telling them before we started, I was thoroughly surprised that she was high on this list, but also I wasn't, because I was like, I did start listening to this person a lot, and I really enjoyed her music and her sound a lot, that after a while I just kept listening to everything, and I got really used to her sound. And so my top artist for the 2020 is Summer Walker. Summer Walker, I
love Summer Walker.
I know, like I heard of her through the grapevine, but I never actively started listening to her until this year. And then her big hit song, Come Through with Usher, really like cemented her place in R&B. And I was like, yeah, this girl is really good. I really like this artist, and I just started listening to more of her stuff, and eventually she just became part of my playlist and part of my like listening revolval. And then by 2020, like the Spotify 2020 wrap up, Come Through featuring Usher and Summer Walker became my top 5 artists of the year, followed by Kalani and Victoria Monet. If we're referring to like the person who I think you should listen to, I definitely highly recommend Victoria Monet. You should totally listen to her, because nobody really talks about her. She's getting more popular because she just released her first debut album, Jaguar, and it's a fantastic listen. I would highly recommend it. But she also, before she debuted, she was a songwriter for Ariana Grande. So that should be one indicator there that like she knows what she's doing. And with her debut album, it goes to show that yes, we should be paying attention to her. Her sound, her lyrics really are like, oof. It's like it's really sultry and beautiful the way that what she does. But yeah, in terms of top artists that I listen to, Summer Walker. But who I would recommend you go and listen to right now for 2020 and beyond, go listen to Victoria Monet, and I highly recommend listening to her entire Jaguar album. All of those songs are bops. And then if you want to, I know we just had Christmas, but she also released a Christmas album where she remixed Christmas songs with her Jaguar songs. It's fantastic. You should listen to that too. Just drop everything and go listen to Victoria Monet. Great artist. Definitely someone that we should be paying attention to coming up in 2021. Whew. Yeah.
I surprisingly just realized that I didn't put her work down before, but I've really been getting into her a bit more. I guess this would be my top one as well. Like I said before we started, there wasn't a whole lot that was affecting me music-wise, other than the fact that K-pop stands, and specifically ARMY, took over all of the racist hashtags that were on Twitter and TikTok and just filled them with either BTS memes or just random sounds. Like, I think there was one time I was on Twitter and I saw someone try to have that hashtag, but it was just a video of Suga screaming J-Hope while pointing. It was so weird. But the top person that I think I've been listening to way more of her music for is Brittany Campbell. I first heard about her, what was it? At least 2 to 3 years ago, when she did a song with an artist, with a Japanese DJ known as DJ Okawari, for a song Brown Eyed. I think it was called Brown Eyes, and I connected with that song a lot because it was very soulful. It was describing a lot of the stuff that I was going through about 4 years ago. But recently, I've been listening to her songs. There's 2 songs in particular that I want to suggest, which would be Matter, where she specifically made this song during the Black Lives protest, and one that's called Champion, which is depicting basically her love story and how hard she goes for her partner, who is absolutely gorgeous, by the way. She has such a beautiful partner. And it's basically showing how she don't know her exact sexuality, but she is dating a very pretty woman who had really beautiful hair, and I have become obsessed with Brittany Campbell. Is she animates her own music videos.
Oh wow.
Huh.
Like she does hand animation and I think some After Effects. It was so cool watching just her do Champion. Like if we could if I could have it play for y'all right now, it's such a good song. Like it's really good. It's her and she's probably the person that I've been listening to that was really getting me through 2020 because especially Matter, the words were like I asked this for my mother. I asked this for the babies, the moms and daddies. Are we here? Do we matter? Those lyrics were really sitting with me, and I was watching everything that was going down for the protest, and it was really making me think. Because there were nights where I was just sitting up crying, being like, "Does anybody care? Really? No?" And that song just resonated with me a lot. And Champion is just a feel-good song. It was just so cute to see because it was during that song came out during Pride, and it was just great. It was great. It was awesome. And she animates so well. If I could have her for a mentor, I would love it. And she does all her animations are 2D and they're great. They are great.
Oh,
That's awesome. Definitely I will.
Oh, and after that, I would say Umi because Tsukida Kara.
Okay.
oh goodness.
Darian.
I honestly can tell you that I probably don't have a specific artist in mind, because any kind of music I listened to at all this year has kind of been whoosh. I never paid attention to the names, I just listened to what sounds good. So I kind of narrowed it down to genres. But there is one song that kind of got stuck in me and my mom's head that kind of fits. I'll tell you about that later. I think the top spot would have to be R&B and hip-hop between late 90s and early 2000s. Basically songs that kind of played when I was still in elementary and middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. I kind of just resonated with it. It's like, okay, I need something to comfort me. I need some comfort. And all of a sudden, I go into like my phone and just start looking up songs they played between the late 90s and early 2000s. It's just like, it kind of just was a comfort. All those artists were kind of around when I was growing up. That indicates a lot about my age, but I'm not saying none. But there's all of that. Like those were songs I would hear my mom and dad would play in the radio, and like during car trips. It was just something that would lull me to sleep and help me relax, if that makes any sense. But the one song that got stuck in me and my mom's head, especially more recently, was just, what's that song? I can't remember the artist. So you go locked up, we're all locked up. That's it. That's it. Akon. We're locked up by Akon.
Okay.
I don't know why that specific song got stuck in my head. I can't tell you why, but it's just, why does it fit? Why does it kind of fit a little too well? But that's honestly my top spot. The other two were kind of just like Japanese rock and classical music. I'm gonna sound like a pretentious douche, but classical music.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Very relaxing.
I mean,
give me some Bach or Beethoven or what is that dude's name? Anybody that plays a piano or violin, they're okay with me because they kind of help me relax and
Gotcha.
nice chill music.
All right, Deanna, how about you?
I definitely listened to a lot of more J-pop this year. What did I write down for artists? I think the top ones this year were like Real and Eve. I recently got in, just like, I just love their music, and I think they ended up coming out with like a lot more songs this year too, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah, I really like Real because I found them through like Vocaloid.
Oh, okay. I started listening to more Vocaloid again recently, but that's only because I got back reintroduced to Miku because what was the song? Daisies on Your Nightstand or Daisies by Ash Nico. It was some weird song on TikTok, and then I just hear Miku going, "Call me crazy, I don't care," and I was like, "Who made this?"
I mean, there's definitely like a lot of creepy songs for Vocaloid. If it's a creepy song, like, oh my gosh, my favorite songs are from like Kikuo. He's like the master of creating these like really cutesy, like really energetic songs, and then they end up having like the most twisted lyrics out there. They're like, what was it called? Like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's a very like very very scary song. It's a very NSFW. I don't think I should be saying specifically what it is, or because it's kind of like triggering things. It's like a pretty messed up song talking about like abuse, death, cannibalism.
It sounds like fucking Darkwood Circus.
Darkwood Circus is pretty creepy too. There's another one about like talking about Kill Switch. I mean, there's even like a song out there where like Miku like praises about like Satan. People come up with the craziest songs out there for them.
I'm gonna need a list.
But my favorite. Yeah. I mean, there's like so many like compilations of it on like YouTube, and for me, like my favorite Vocaloids have to be the twins, like Len and Rin. Their birthday actually was pretty recent. It's also like my what I posted on my Instagram this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like their 13th anniversary, and you know, I was a part of like this huge collab where I think they got like 100 artists to go out and redraw like the twins in their original outfits, because there's like so many different like iterations of them, because you know, every song like they have new personalities, new outfits, and like new stories.
I just hear Gumi's "Eat Me" in the background, and I'm just like, that was during the Alice in Wonderland thing, where there were just so many Alice in Wonderland songs coming out at one time. It was so weird.
Yeah. Took me back
Terrifying.
to high school this year, honestly.
Basically, yeah. Sidebar, I also found out that I think during the time when all the Alice in Wonderland songs were coming out, that wasn't planned. People just started making Alice in Wonderland songs.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. And I was sitting here like, what in the entire heck?
So what in the entire
I mean, there's even like songs dedicated to like the 7 deadly sins. What was his name? Like Mafi. His name is Master of the Heavenly Yard, and like, those are some pretty top tier songs. They're like classic Vocaloid songs too.
Yeah.
Cool deal, guys. I love hearing about these new music that I can go and check out. But yeah, you guys, it's awesome. Well, that leads us to our last topic of the category of the night, and that is TV and movies. I put these together because I feel like if we did movies and TV, we could probably be here like all night talking about what we probably watched. So I was like, let's just go ahead and pump it together. And then if you have like a strong movie or a strong TV show that you want to like bump to number one, then do that. Because I do have a movie that's my number one, and then I have two that are TV shows. So my number 3 TV show. This one was kind of like one that I didn't expect to get into. It's like one of those things where one of those franchises where like, it's already very well established, and it's like it kind of feels like a lost cause to try and get into. But of course, my husband loves this franchise, so like he kind of like not dragged me, but kind of like was like, "Come on, check it out. I mean, what do you have to lose?" And I'm like, "Okay, fine." And so my number 3 show that got me and my husband through 2020 is Star Trek Discovery. I understand that this is like you may have not watched this. It's totally fine, but at least for me, like Star Trek Discovery, I learned a lot about the Star Trek franchise and the universe through this series, and it got me into like figuring out what is the Star Trek lore and stuff like that. And so I can safely say that now with Star Trek Discovery, I am kind of a Trekkie. I think Star Trek is pretty
Welcome to the
cool.
club.
Hey, hi, Darian. You're back. Welcome back. I could safely say that Star Trek Discovery is, I'm a Trekkie now, and and basically I binge watched 1 through 2, and then the 3rd season came out, I think, this summer, and so now we're watching it on a weekly basis. as it comes out. And it became one of our shows that we have to like watch and be like, and we're like, honestly, we were very excited for. We were like, oh, it's Thursday? Oh gosh, it's Thursday. It's time to go watch Star Trek Discovery. And so it's helped us be together and through this time and like both like a common thing together. And so that was really nice. Which, you know, I didn't have to do. You know, I could have been like, no thanks, I don't want to watch that. But it got me hooked onto a franchise that I wouldn't have thought about otherwise, and also helped me get through the year. So that's that. Number 2 would have to go to, I would say the opposite. The opposite happened. I was like, hey David, that's my husband's name, we should totally watch this show. I think it's really cool. And then we both watched the first episode and we were like, oh, we need to watch more. And so we continued watching the entire season of this show. And honestly, I'm really excited for season 2. If they decide to do a season 2, I think would be really cool. And that show would be Lovecraft Country. Lovecraft, it's a really...
Yes, my mother has been obsessed with Lovecraft Country.
It's a great show. It's intense, like, I mean, but not intense that we couldn't understand it. Like, I'm talking to the collective we, as in the 4 of us couldn't understand it. But, like, it's definitely one of those shows that came out at the right time with everything, with the protests and everything. Because it is, it's mixing not sci-fi, like magic, like fantasy, sci-fi themes into the racial Jim Crow South era. And it's like, I wouldn't have not imagined those things going so well together, and they do. And I really enjoy, like, the story, the characters. It's hilarious. If you don't know this, my mom got a dog, and we named it Atticus. And the main character, no relation, is named Atticus. And we were like, and so we're like, oh, well, interesting. Well, Atticus the dog came first. But I've always thought it was hilarious if I ever got to meet the actor who played Atticus, and we got to bring the dog. I think it'd be really cute to be like, hey, Atticus, meet Atticus, and then it's just this rambunctious dog in my purse, and it's just like the two Atticuses meeting. But yeah, it's a wonderful show. I think it's from the creator of Underground. That's like a show about the Underground Railroad that's coming to OWN. Heard that was really good, but yeah. I think HBO...
I remember Afua Richardson did the, I remember...
Yes,
Afua
Richardson,
did,
yeah.
concept art.
She did concept art and then did some art for the series. Like, if you watch it, she does do some art in the series that you'll recognize as hers. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And I actually got to meet Afua Richardson, like, a few years ago before she did this. So it's really cool seeing, like, wow, look at that. She did a come-up. She's doing her own show. I mean, not own show, but, like, she's doing art for this show. It's amazing. I'm like, that's great. And stuff like that. And you have a lot of powerful black characters, which, once again, during this time, I'm like, yeah, this is really necessary. And I think people should, they definitely did look to this show to be like, okay, this is really cool. And I'm happy that at least HBO is on the money with this series. So, I think HBO Max did something right doing with this show. If I do not see it on the Emmy nominees, I'm going to be highly irritated. There are several episodes in this season where, there are several episodes this season where I'm like, if it ain't nominated, I'm going to be mad irritated, because that was some good that's some good TV, like, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. And my number 1 is a movie. I just recently watched it. It's fantastic. Probably, like, unless you have a subscription to Apple TV, or if it's probably a chance you probably won't see it. You probably know what I'm talking about. Wolfwalkers. Wolfwalkers. I was mad excited about this movie because it was from the studio that worked on The Secret of Kells and Song of the Sea.
Yeah,
and I love Cartoon Saloon. And then I was super excited that Apple TV picked up this the movie and worked on and hadn't let them finish it, because it's a beautiful, like, the movie is gorgeous. Like, the art in it is beautiful, and you could tell, like, some things were during their time where they were pitching it, because I don't know if it was an intentional thing on their part, but some of the animation, you can see the sketch lines of like the joints and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if that was an intentional thing on their part, and they're like, "Fuck it, let's just keep it in." But but it's like it really set them apart from like regular traditional animated, where it's this polished thing. Because like it made me feel like, okay, traditional animation just have to be this beautiful, like this hyper polished thing. Like the sketchiness of the animation kind of makes it feel more rugged, which is what the theme of the movie kind of was. And so I'm just happy that Cartoon Saloon had to get another movie out there. I feel upset unless it was a really crap year for Disney, which you can say yes or no to that question. I highly believe that Wolfwalkers will get a win for Best Animation. I know to get a nomination, but not a win. But it's a matter of how bad Disney did, because like, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, we have Soul, we have Onward. What else came out? Soul, Onward.
Sonic.
I don't know if Sonic will be. Do you really? No, maybe Trolls World Tour. I'm talking about things that'll be nominated for Best Animated Feature. I don't think Sonic the Hedgehog. It may get VFX, which will be mad insulting.
It'll probably get VFX, which I feel some type of way about.
Yeah, I'll be mad insulted.
Other people know how I feel about the Sonic movie for specific reasons, but I don't know if Sonic will get Best Animation just because of the fucking conspiracy.
Well, I don't know if it'll be. I think it'll be definitely if it's gonna. It may get VFX. I don't think it's gonna get animated feature, unless they're gonna pull a Lion King, but I highly doubt that. Like, Lion King was a very special exception, and even that was a stretch for Disney. Like, I don't even know. Disney was
remaking movies.
Disney was swearing up and down that it's not animated, it's real, but it got a nomination for Best Animated Feature. Ooh, like basically the people were like, yeah, it's animated. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's animated. But yeah, I don't know. I know Wolfwalkers will get a nomination, but I don't think it'll win because if Disney has anything to do with it. But I definitely would put Wolfwalkers up there in terms of technicality. Beautiful movie, great story. God, Cartoon Saloon cannot do any wrong. It just needs to get the due diligence sometime. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. Yeah. Yeah, but who's everybody else's choices?
I did not watch a lot of TV.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't watch a lot of movies.
Really? But we had nothing but time. Like, we had all the, like, I feel like there was something we gravitated towards in terms of some kind of media.
I mean, there's a couple of things I haven't watched, and one does stick out, but I'm gonna let Mickey say her piece because she had her finger up.
I was just saying, yeah, there was one thing. Now, not gonna lie. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just go up down the line. So my number 3, which I've been more focused on, was, and I didn't think I would get that interested in it, but at the same time I understand why. Number 3 for me was a movie that's called Mirai, which means future. It's an animated movie that was actually made in 2018, but I was finally able to watch it on Netflix. It's really, really good. No sibling rivalry, which is hilarious because that's my life, unfortunately. I'm kidding. My sister would kill me if she saw this. It was really good. It was made by the same studio that made Wolf Children. Like, extremely wholesome, very beautifully animated, which I was surprised by, but it was also pretty good. Number 2 is a Chinese drama that I was not expecting to get back into watching J-dramas and K-dramas and C-dramas and stuff like that, but now I'm back into it and I can't get out, unfortunately. But this C-drama that I watched was basically a love story that was based off of the Qianlong Dynasty for, what is the name of it? It's called Please Royal Love in the Palace. It's really, really good, but let me just tell you right now, Chinese dramas is on some shit. You would not think. Like, I was watching this, and I was also watching another one that was like Princess Wei Young. It was about royalty and stuff like that. But it's just kind of like, oh my God, women in the palace. I know this probably isn't a proper representation of them. It's literally just dramatized, and I get that. But I'm just like, y'all are bitches to each other. What the fuck? What is happening?
The Real Housewives of China.
Actually, yes. Especially in it takes you into a different mindset because Ruyi's World of Love in the Palace is basically it's the story of the step empress was named Consort Shan or who eventually was of the Ulanara clan, like how she it was a dramatization of how she rose from being just a consort in the royal harem during that time in China to the step empress. She was not the first empress, but she was a step empress, and it basically revolves around childhood sweethearts. She and the emperor were each other's basically their first loves. Like, he had various other women in the palace because that is just how the harems were. That is just the history. But at that time, at least in this dramatic showing, like, those two were sweethearts. But it shows how you can go from sweethearts to the disillusionment of marriage. And what that means is they started to see how the other person became as they traveled through the first, it was the first 20 years of the Kamlong dynasty, and it shows how you can think that you know a person, but you can eventually grow to be disillusioned by the idea of them and the idea of your love story with them. And it tore me to shreds because unfortunately, as a demisexual, romance is a very big thing to my people. Unfortunately.
She's shaking her face.
It was also very heartbreaking, but at the same time, it also shows, like, yeah, you can understand how that would happen. But I suggest watching it. Not gonna lie, you're gonna think that you're really gonna be taking some sides, and it's like it's literally It's like Real Housewives of China, but everybody's married to one man. Everybody is being a dick to each other for this one man.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
Ooh, I'm sorry. I love Wallace Hell as an actor, but he ain't shit as the emperor. He ain't shit. Anyway, but the one thing that got me through 2020, everybody knows this, has to be Kamen Rider 01.
Yep.
It has to be Kamen Rider 01. I did not think I was going to get into Kamen Rider, but I've cried more for this show, and it's literally made for children. Kamen Rider's demographic is literally shonen or seinen, like it's made for kids. It's literally made for kids, but there's so much death and destruction and the designs of all the characters and the suits, like it. Anyone watching for the people watching, Kamen Rider is the spikier form of Power Rangers.
Spiky.
The Power Rangers are not working together. They're working, and some of them are working against each other.
No.
Just think about
Okay.
Lots of fruit.
In 01 specifically, like the two characters named Aruto, who rose to power as the grandson of the Hidan Industries, but basically he's trying to show people that it's okay to be around androids because like literally that's what Hidan Industries does. Like they created androids that are simply like are basically like what is a good example? Detroit Become Human, but you know, with another type of drama, but it wasn't like that. But I wouldn't think that there's as much death in Kamen Rider that's shown to 10-year-olds until you actually watch it.
Well, that's fun. That's lots of fun.
And all the suits are spiky. That's something else that I've noticed. Everything is spiky. Everything is really spiky. Everything is really spiky.
Does everything have to be spiky?
Apparently, the spikier you are, the more evil you are, but also the more powerful.
Never mind. I'm thinking too hard.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
That's fascinating. That,
Oddly enough, the storytelling is actually really, really good, which I was not expecting. I was expecting like the cheesy Power Rangers sort of storytelling, but it's really good for a kids show. But it feels like it's not meant to be a kids show. Like, I don't know.
it's one of those enigmas, isn't it?
Yeah, but the main female lead, Izu, I absolutely adore her. She is the sweetest. She is just the sweetest little bean. I absolutely adore her. I adore her and Naruto's friendship. I really do, but just
I gotta call her a little bit.
I don't know. The show is weird, and also the merchandise for Kamen Rider is super popular and very expensive. I was looking for the belt. I saw a belt for it for 01. It's $80 damn.
I think I just heard my wallet cry from my purse.
It's $80 for something that's this big.
Oh no.
Oh, that's nothing. If you want someone to make a suit for you, it's $2,000.
Same level as a fursuit, huh?
Yeah, that's
Golly.
like fursuit money right there.
Sometimes more.
Sorry, I think I just choked on my life savings.
All of Darian's financial assets are just freezing and taking her with it.
Oh god, yeah.
Before I get into all of that, yeah, I have not watched too much TV as of late because my brain doesn't have attention on video games or YouTube lately. But I have had one show that kind of stuck out outside of all the Disney films I've been kind of rewatching. By the way, Hercules definitely helped.
Hercules. I had to.
Don't, no, not got that lady singing in my head, no. Oh god. But the one show that kind of stuck out, I think it came out around the late 2019-ish? Somewhere on that point. I got it earlier, I don't know. But it also does tie into a video game series and a book series that I just recently found out. It happened to be The Witcher.
Okay.
That, honestly, I wasn't expecting to get dragged into that show more than I thought. Because usually if I see a video game franchise being made into a TV show, I think, oh, this is going to be crap, isn't it? So I tend to try and avoid it. It's the same like if you see anime adaptations. It's either going to be really, really good or really, really shit. But then my friend started watching it and he's like, have you seen the show yet? And I'm like, no. He's like, give it a shot. It's going to be really good. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Let's give this a shot and see how it goes. It actually turned out better than I thought it would. Because apparently it follows closely to the book series before it hits the video games. At least as far as I know. And I've read the first book so far, which is supposed to be most of what the Netflix show is supposed to reflect, and they kind of follow it to a really good degree. Really well. They made a couple of changes in there, kind of threw me off a little bit. And of course they excluded some of the stories, but I think they're going to do something with the season 2 that's supposed to be coming out soon. But really good if you're into high fantasy stuff, monster slinging, witches, wizards, not really witches and wizards, but more like sorceresses and stuff like that, then it's definitely for you, because shit gets violent really quick at certain intervals. But it's really good. I love the main character.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the dude that plays Superman. What is his name? Completely forgot his name, but he plays Geralt, and he actually does a really good job of it. Acting's on point. Everything's good. I just really liked it, especially the monster designs in there. It's like, I am a fan of character design a lot, especially when it comes to monsters, and they did those things justice. I had to research for those monsters, and it turns out they're actually a real deal. Like a Striga or a Manticore, things like that I haven't heard of a Manticore before thanks to Adventure Time, but Striga, I didn't even know existed. Not in a bottle, though. He's not in the bottle, though. Oh my goodness, or Basilisk, or things like the monsters that I had to research and look up for myself, and I just found it very fascinating. So if you like fantasy, you like monsters, you like seeing grown men killing monsters, it's a show for you. I can agree that it's actually pretty good. I actually got my mom into it a while ago.
Cool.
That's always fun.
Show her a good amount of violence, and she's going to be into it for a good minute. Violence and drama are kind of our two indicators.
Gotcha.
But that's my topic. Diana.
I think it's the same for you, Diana.
I'm trying to think how to start this. Well, I didn't really watch a lot of movies this year, surprisingly. Because, like, when I think back to, like, all the stuff that I watched this year, no movies really, like, come up. I mean, I went to go watch, like, the anime movie, like, Heaven's Feel. It's, like, a Fate movie, and that was really fun to watch, because I went on, like, the opening, like, day. And it was so cool to be able to, like, sit in the theater again, socially distanced from everybody, of course. And able to just, like, take in, like, all the intense, like, I just love Ufotable so much with animations. Other than that, not really any movies this year. As for, like, TV shows, I the ones that stick out to me were TV. I don't watch a lot of, like, live-action, shows. So, I think for me, 3 has to be, like, South Park. I love rewatching it. Sadly, it's on HBO Max. Don't have that, but whenever I catch it on our subscription service for like Spectrum, like I just watch it whenever I can. It's just a nice thing to have in the background and just like rewatch the episodes for. For number 2, I have like Futurama. I got into that again this year. Just rewatching the episodes, reliving like all of it. Like a lot of it just really well. And that actually took me by surprise because, it's been canceled for so long. I'm hopeful for, a reboot or, continuation. How much? Like 3 times already? I don't know if they're going to get that chance to get revived again. Fandom's out there. It's dying, but it's out there. And then number 1 has to be, like, American Dad. Like, yes. I know that I probably shouldn't have that so high. I know I shouldn't have that so high up on the list. But, like, this year, like, I ended up having to be, like, really close with my family. We went through a lot of, like, troubles, and, like, tribulations. And, like, American Dad, weirdly, is, like, what got me and my brothers together. Like, whenever the new episodes would come on, like, we'd all just be like, oh, okay, like, change it to TBS, let's watch this new episode. And then we just really bonded over that this year, and kind of like almost in a weird way, like brought us more together. Because usually we're just all holed up in our rooms. And, yeah, it's a nice bonding moment this year. A lot more bonding moments this year, definitely for sure.
Yeah.
For family.
I agree. Like
that's why. Yeah.
Yeah, because definitely. If you had the ability to be with family, like, there's a chance that you're able to, like, at least, get to know them, or, or maybe the opposite of, like, you get really tired and then you need to get out of there. I don't know, like, but...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Just having those shows that you can watch with them, it feels really sweet. Like, that's why Kamen Rider is up so high on my list. I genuinely enjoy it, but getting to watch it was really nice.
Yeah, and that's why, like, I think all the TV shows and movies that I watched were with David, which was, he was my main watching buddy, and like, it was nice having somebody, because normally I would watch something by myself, and normally if I do watch something by myself, one of the things I did start watching by myself, normally because I was just curious. I started watching this show called Bridgerton on Netflix. I realized it when it was just me. I was like,
oh God, yes, that.
Yeah, I started watching that today, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is the tea. I can't wait to binge watch this more. But I realized that watching this like by myself, I'm like, oh, this is kind of alone. But like when I watch it with David, it's like it's a lot more enjoyable. So I've gotten into the mood of like, yeah, having a TV buddy and bonding over stuff like Star Trek. So because now me and David bond over Star Trek, and you know we got to watch Lovecraft Country, which I didn't think. Like, I was really concerned that, like, he was not going to be interested due to the racial stuff. But, I mean, but he got invested with me, and he was really intrigued by it. And, you know, we watched it the full season. And I was just really happy that we got to do that and experience that together and experience all the stuff that we got to watch together. So, that really helped through the year for sure. So, yeah. But that is our list of reviews.
I'm surprised I actually.
Oh, go ahead, huh?
I'm surprised that I was able to get down music because honestly, I have not been listening to as much music, and then I remembered that Brittany Campbell really kind of got me through this year. But other than that, I was gonna play some music with books because I finally got back into reading, guys. That's great.
Yeah, I did not. That's why I didn't do books.
I'd be totally ready to take another AR star test.
There was no freaking way I was gonna put books on here because I don't even read when I'm not in a pandemic. Why would I read now? Like, you know, you know what I mean?
Manga.
I just got some new books, so I'm hyped. But the only one that I was really even going to talk about is this one, The Beast is an Animal. Jesus, that book has so much that is going on. So much that is going on. It has so much inclusion, but in the weirdest way possible. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
And whenever has the time for it, please read the book. It's actually really good, but also kind of like, I wasn't expecting this.
So what's it called again?
This book is called The Beast and Animal. There's even a poem that's on the back of it, so this is the front of it. I just can't remember if this was given to me. I just picked it up one day, but like it's not too expensive as a book. It's written by Peter Nell von Arsdale, and there's a poem on the back that kind of there's a poem on the back that's called Old Bide Nursery Rhyme called "The beast is an animal, you better lock the gate, or when it's dark it comes for you, then it will be too late. Beast is an animal, hear it scratch upon your door. It sucks your soul, then licks the bowl and sniffs around for more. Beast is an animal, it has a pointy end. It eats you while you sleep at night, leaves nothing but your skin."
Well, that's wonderful.
That connects every little tiny thing that goes on in this book, but it also has a whole lot of inclusion that you wouldn't originally think about. Like it talks about non-binary people, but it's set in a puritanical type setting. It also talks about non-binary people. It talks about those who are LGBTQ. Talks about how. This is a slight spoiler, but it's honestly really funny. How happy the main character gets when she finally puts on pants. She said, "I feel free." She didn't want to wear a skirt anymore, so she put on some pants.
Damn. That sounds like the embodiment of 2020. Like, man, I'm just proud of myself that I put on pants today. Period.
Interracial relationships as well. That was really interesting to see. Interracial relationships. And questioning the religion that was surrounding this sort of village. Like it was a lot, but then it also brings up the beast, which is there's no easy way to describe him. There isn't an easy way to describe the beast.
I just found candy in my drawer. Sorry, that was random. I'm just like, I forgot about this. It's just a leftover candy cane.
Okay, and with that, we're going to wrap up our year in review, and so I think we're going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and take a quick little break, and then we're going to get started with our next
Yes,
Our
please.
next event for the night, we're going to play a game. So yeah, stay tuned, you guys. Right.
you see my video now, or is it still like
Wait, I can
stuff?
we can see your camera right now. But hey, we're back, and thank you, D Pagona, for following us. I think we know who you are, but we ain't gonna say it. It's all good.
I mean, it might just
me, I
be
got
the person
snack.
themselves.
It's okay, I'm still numbing on my candy cane.
I went to the living room to go talk to my parents, who came back from delivering presents, and this is what my uncle sent me back.
What
I
is
don't know if you
that?
can see
Hold on, I
that.
can't. Hold on, let me see.
So it's
Okay, there we go. Excuse me, though. Oh, that was Mickey.
Okay.
It's like, what's happening right now?
Jesus.
Hold on, it's loading. Your video's loading. Hold on, Deanna.
it's loading.
Yeah, it's loading now. I don't know what's
I
happening.
can come in
can
and
see
out of the Discord call.
I can't see her. Wait, now? Oh, no, now I thought it was like you were in the dark for a minute. Nah, I just can't see you.
Hang on, let me come back.
Okay.
I'm gonna see you guys in a hot minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. Hey,
Just a minor
D
technical
Pagona. I think, is it Quinn? Is that Quinn? I mean, we only have so many
Love name
followers,
sounds
so.
really familiar.
Okay, now you're good.
Yes, baby.
back. In my back gamers.
It's okay.
Hey, Heidi, we're back. And we're about to
Welcome
play.
Okay, good. Okay, now I can show off my lollipop again.
Look, what is it? Is that a
Oh, it's a
clown?
lollipop.
Yeah. So, it's a lollipop of chocolate covered
Wait a minute,
marshmallow.
I've seen those before.
Oh, have you? You probably have. So yeah, it's a chocolate covered marshmallow like popsicle with like a face on it. Hang on, I got it open. Oh, ASMR for you guys.
Ooh, give us some ASMR.
It's destroyed. It's destroyed. But it has like a little face on it. It's
Pull it up
called,
to the, pull it
and it
up to the
has
camera.
a name that roughly traces to clown popsicle. Yeah, clown popsicle.
Clown
Hang on, let me turn off the ASMR just for a sec.
Oh, Quinn, that's what we thought. Like, Deanna was telling us that D is your mom's beginning name, and so we were like, "Who is that? Is that Quinn?"
Oh wait, is she talking in the chat?
Yeah, she's talking in the chat. She said, "Can you guys do a mukbang?" I don't like mukbang.
That would be so. That would
But
be
that-
so funny if we did a mukbang.
But that would mean that we would have to be eating the same thing.
I mean, you don't get the food.
Oh my goodness.
or if we're not eating the same thing, it would literally have to be like we just have to explain what exactly we're eating.
I got hot dogs. Does that count?
Right, we don't have the same thing. Oh, speaking of which, I actually I went to Costco and I got some Korean ramen with Korean rice cakes. So it was like the spicy Korean, and like oh my,
Tteokbokki is really good.
yeah, we got some.
Be prepared, Shayla. It's gonna be spicy.
I already ate it. It was very spicy. Like my intestines were on fire for at least 2 days. Like TMI, like the bathroom was on fire, like for real. Like I was like, oh my gosh, it wasn't pretty, but yeah, it was extremely hot. I literally had to put some tomato sauce in it in order to like dial down the spiciness. It was that spicy, and I was really scared. But I like the rice cake. The rice
Oh, you
cake
should have
was-
done. You should have had some cheese.
I did put cheese in it, but it didn't help.
Oh.
That's weird. She usually tones down spiciness for me.
Just down a gallon of milk.
I also had milk, Deanna,
Milk
and
doesn't-
it also didn't
You know
help.
what would make a good mukbang? You know what would make a good mukbang? If we all eat the fire noodles.
No, what is fire
The Samyang
noodles?
noodles.
That is terrifying.
Maybe in the future, like when everybody's stomachs can handle it, because I still never tried Samyang. I have a set of them that I want to try, but when I first tried them, I was upset, or maybe there was just something going on with my taste buds and my stomach, but it wasn't that spicy when I first tried it, and I was really mad because I spent $11 on that fucking ramen.
Oh.
And it wasn't spicy.
Oh my god.
It wasn't spicy to me. Like it was so weird. I was mad.
Oh, God have mercy on my soul.
Okay. All right. With that, all right, we're going. So as you can see, y'all on the screen, we're about to play some Jackbox. We need to figure out what we're going to play. So we have Quiplash, Murder Trivia Party, Espionage, Faking It, and then TKO. What are you guys feeling? What should we play tonight?
Ooh, that's a tough choice.
I always like Trivia and Murder Party.
Let's test each other's intelligence. The game always makes me
I have
feel
one
stupid.
brain cell.
Oh, never mind then.
No, it's a good thing.
I'm
I
fine
find
with
it funny.
I'm fine with playing Trivia Murder Party. You want to do that?
Alright, let's do this.
Okay. I need to turn the volume
gonna
up.
be good.
Hold on.
I'm gonna be so upset if I get any of these questions wrong. Because I usually am.
Can you guys hear it?
Do I need to go to the stream itself?
No.
Oh, do we?
I know it says it on Discord.
Oh, wait, are you streaming it right now through Discord?
I think so.
I'm not seeing
Me
it.
neither.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, there we go.
There we go. Yep.
Okay, so you want to play? We're playing Trivia Murder Party.
Now I hear it.
Okay, cool.
Do I need to type into anything?
Not yet.
Or... Oh, got it. Oh God.
Can you see? You guys can still see it?
Yes? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm trying to see.
Yeah,
I was wondering why it was lagging, but you still haven't pressed play.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to figure out with Lab OBS. I'm trying to see OBS. I can't see it. Where did it go? Where did you go, OBS? Hold on. Ooh, this is fun. I think we're still okay. I can't see chat, so that should be interesting. I'll just go ahead and look on.
Oh dear.
I'll have the. I'm also gonna have the chat open.
Yeah, I can't see chat
Because
at
it's gonna be
all.
funny.
So
I'm kind of glad that we're playing these because at least if come back my numbers were even a little bit.
oh my gosh, the whole thing
I'll
is
get upset.
the whole thing is messed up. Hold on. Okay, I think we'll be fine. I'm trying to reconnect. I cannot see anything. Wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna assume everything's okay. If it's not, then yeah, someone will tell us. Is someone looking at chat?
For Twitch?
I'm checking now.
I mean, everything looks cool. Like, Twins, like...
Yeah, I need the chat.
Dan, she said what?
said, yeah, I've got the chat open.
Okay. Alright, let's do it.
Oh,
And anybody, and also people that are watching us now, you guys can join us as well. We are giving you that option. Alright, does everybody see the code?
gonna be playing more victims. Yes. Hang on a minute.
Okay. Where are you? Oh, there is a tab.
How do I have photo? What's that?
I'm just gonna type in that and pop in my. Oh,
IZMH.
nice.
Why do I like orange Patrick?
That's just not like the puppets.
What? I have a VIP on me.
Wait, what? What?
Why do I have VIP on me? Dip.
Oh, that's because you were the first one to join in.
Oh. Yay, Eyes is special.
Eyes is special.
Eye is smart.
Okay, did I join in? Okay.
There we go. Oh, here's a cow.
I probably should have capitalized something. Oh well.
Who is Dig the Mega Doo-Doo? Oh my gosh, is that Quinn?
No, that's me.
Oh.
It's DD Mega Dude.
DD Mega DD.
I mean, it starts with a D.
Oh
That's
god.
me.
Everybody, yeah.
I think so. Or who's in charge? Are you the VIP?
Quinn, since you're in the Darian is.
Me.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's everybody. If check in the chat if
Right.
anybody else wants to play real quick.
Big play next round. Okie dokie. So, shall I begin the game?
Yes, let's do it.
Alright, let's do this. Are you gonna work? Okay, there we go.
Oh,
Okay, I think it's just taking a while.
Oh gosh.
So is it the volume?
It's supposed to be yours. Why does it always freak me out?
The buttons! The buttons!
That's the horror aspect of this.
Oh my god!
Oh, yay. Look, can we skip this? Someone paying attention.
Wake up!
I'm a moron.
oh no.
Oh,
Welcome to Trivia Night! A trial by fire to wash clean the unworthy. But like, let's also have some kooky fun along the way. Yay, trivia! I'm going to ask you a bunch of trivia questions. If you get a question wrong, you have to fight for your life in one of my super fun mini games. If you do badly in the minigame, I'll kill you. But don't worry, Ghost can still win the game. When one player is left alive, we'll go to the final round where the living and dead compete to see who can escape first. And you still have time to join the audience and potentially get killed by me. It's fun.
You have the
Does
time to
anyone
skip
listen
it?
to these tutorials? Who knows? Let's just play.
Okay, here we go.
Here's the first question. The Indian company Comptanu Limited has what stock symbol on the New York Stock Exchange?
Oh god.
let's oh no.
Use your device to answer the question.
I don't know.
New York Stock Exchange?
Do I have to answer too, or?
Time to find out.
I just picked one. I don't know.
Oh god, I can't pick anything!
And the correct answer is... Who
Okay,
got
well,
the question
sad.
right?
Oh!
The rest of you, I want to show you something.
God.
Oh
Bye.
no.
Welcome to the killing floor.
I do get it right.
I think
Pictures! You will be judged.
I wanted to
Dingleberries.
give this up. But I
Draw
thought it was
this
like
thing the
too
best you
cheesy.
can and press send when you're finished.
Okay.
No Wacom tablets.
I said that in.
Oh, come on, it's cool. You can do it.
Wait, really? Oh.
I don't know what I did.
I want to see it. See you have to drop poop.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, dingleberries are poop. They're little dingleberries, like,
Now
they
everyone
look
gets
like
to
butt.
vote. Pick the drawing that you hate the most. It feels good to tear others
Don't
down.
get a span within the first.
Wait, is that?
Pick the drawing that makes you go, oh, no. I do not want this
I don't get
later.
it.
God, what is...
Go with your gut. Pick the worst
I
drawing.
turned. Oopsie poopsies. See, I'm on a black.
The votes
I
are
don't
in.
know what's going on.
A tie?
No.
What is this? Soccer?
Well, bye, guys.
So, I just killed you and you're totally a ghost now. But trivia is not just for those drawing breath. Keep playing and you might just rejoin the living. Here at Trivia Murder Party, we believe even the deceased should have a chance to succeed.
Oh god.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
all
It's
dead
already
except
down to just
Darian.
one player. I should have paced this out better. If you can survive 2 more questions, everyone goes to the final round.
okay.
Let's try another one.
Oh, no.
If you are 7 years old, in the 2nd grade, and a member of the Girl Scouts of
Okay,
America,
they
then
shitty,
you're
but okay.
Who's been in Girl Scouts? What? Well, if you don't know.
Oh wait, I know.
Stupid name for it.
I was almost a Girl Scout.
I was never a Girl Scout.
time for it now.
Almost was.
Darian, you have 3 seconds!
Screw it, yellow.
Who said yes?
Yes!
One of you is still alive. Prepare for your punishment. Hey girl, welcome back to the killing floor.
I'm killing school.
Let's test your memory. Memorize the
That was so
pattern.
hard.
God. Oh, no. Okay. Guns are guns
Okay,
are
you've
blue.
had enough time.
Okay.
From left to right. What was the order of the weapons?
Fine.
If you make a mistake, I will kill you.
Oh. Shut up. No. Come on.
And voila! Look familiar? How close did you get? Speaking of memory, I'm never going to forget how angry I am right now that no one died.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay, Darian! For the win!
Oh my god. This is gonna be
Hey,
tough.
do you like the
Dang, Darian's
place?
still winning.
Originally, I was going to put a hot tub down here, but I was like, hey, you've been talking about a torture pit your whole life. You deserve it. How about this? Finally, a question about Madonna. When did Madonna go through her cowgirl phase?
Oh my gosh!
Mom, I kinda need your help. Mom?
Me? I
I actually don't know this one. I need to text
You
my mom.
said this one.
don't know! Wow, I feel like I...
You're in for a treat.
Ah!
Oh, darn, this
I
is
got
such a
it
mess.
right?
This piece of art has blood all over it. I hope you're a splatter expert. Memorize the pattern of blood.
Memorize the pattern of blood, Darian.
No. Okay, a C with a butt on it. Okay.
Okay, you've had long enough. Reproduce the pattern on your device by tapping on all the spaces that were red. Then press submit when you're done. If your pattern is different than mine, I will kill you.
Boom, 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 boom.
Here's
They
that
gonna kill
box
me.
again. Now it's
They
time
gonna
to
kill
show your
me.
work. I'm annoyed that you survived, but I can't stay mad at you. Good job! Only one player left alive, just how I like
This
it.
sucks.
Well, look who's still alive. Now you just have to escape with your body.
Oh boy. Oh, here it comes, here it comes.
Category.
Come back to life. I have
Box
to come back
with
to life.
31 days. Tap on each answer that fits, then press submit.
Okay.
Let's see the right answers. You move forward one space for every correct answer. You're getting real close to the exit. Oh, did I mention that all the other ghosts get to play too? If a ghost catches up to you, then they will steal your body. Then they can escape and win the game. Here's everyone's next question.
Coming for you, Darian. No!
We're
Ghost
coming for you!
tries to help them catch up to you.
Drunk. Parrot. What the f?
Decisions.
A parrot is not a pose.
I've never
I don't
heard-
think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Alright. Alright. Okay,
Here's
so
another
stop
one.
it.
Star Trek film titles.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh hell. Wait. What the hell? Revenge of the Sith
I just
list.
told y'all I started
Can you
getting
get
Star
cash?
Trek.
Anytime today, kiddo.
Shit.
Oh, this game gives me
Beware
anxiety.
of the darkness.
Oh god. Heavyweight boxing champs.
Heavyweight boxing champs.
I don't. Ooh, no.
I'm channeling my other through this because this one I genuinely don't know. I know one.
I took the last
I know 1, 2.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I don't know any.
Countries on the Arabian Peninsula.
Arabian. Where the fuck is Ethiopia?
It's in Africa. Which part of Africa?
Time is almost up.
Oh boy, so neat. Okay, my God.
I don't know.
Yes.
Here's another one.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh, I don't know
Cheers
that.
characters.
Cheers, here. What? Cheers!
I was gonna put all of them down. I don't know. I don't have watched Cheers before.
I don't know. I really don't know this one.
Decisions.
Wait.
What the heck is Cheers?
Oh.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
I get it. You did well. Here comes the next question.
Jesus. That darkness is
People
terrifying.
Magazine's sexiest man
People
alive in
Magazine's
the
sexiest
90s.
man alive. Was it Tim Curry?
No.
Or was it Jim? I don't know.
Anytime today, kiddo.
I don't know. I don't know. I was a kid in the 90s. I didn't know what sexy means. Meant.
It's only 4.
Just a few more steps.
You're almost there.
really
Boy
not
Scout
putting that
ranks.
button to the game from my computer. I mean, I haven't been lagging.
God damn it, Arjun was a freaking Boy Scout. It was me. With pink.
Decisions.
Fuck you, narrator.
Shoot, I got it right.
I'm going so close, Nikki.
Subatomic particles.
Nikki, get off my ass.
Time is almost up.
I'm just trying to think that. I don't even know where I am right now.
Nikki!
Better get away fast. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle characters.
Oh, Christ. Oh my god.
Oh, I see.
No.
Fast.
Decisions.
No, Submit. I'm gonna go to the computer. I need a second.
Wow, Darian. You were so close. Oh, Mickey. Down to the wire. Won the game.
I win.
Yay!
We want to play again, or can we play Quiplash?
God.
Let's have the worst drawing. How
Oh,
dare.
yeah.
Unbelievable. Yes.
That's fine. I'm gonna open up Quiplash on this on my phone.
Let's play some Quiplash, and then
Oh, I am so
Mickey.
upset. Mickey, you done so much.
we'll call Quiplash.
I was totally joking at first. Then I actually did it. I wasn't expecting that to happen.
I am so upset.
I'm terrible at trivia games, so I really wasn't expecting that to happen.
I really just could imagine shot in the dark each time. I'm so upset. I flubbed it.
Sorry, it's not responding. It's taking a little bit long to reload everybody. One moment.
You're all good.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, it just closed on me. Hold on.
You're fine. I need to... I just need a minute to, get the pieces of the thing. That was a hard fall. Oh god, too much.
Anybody say anything in the chat?
No, I don't think so.
Well, Deep Pagona's. I bought time them out. Okay, right. Spamming caps isn't a good thing. Just remember that.
Oh, yeah, it's spam. It detected me as spam.
Alrighty.
Oh god.
Okay.
Coffin.
Cause you're dead inside?
What's the code to the, I think the screen is popping up for me. Hang on, I might need to do, I might need to pop back. Oh, I can go back.
I'm a carrot. I'm a freaking carrot.
Can you see it now?
can. I think my poor internet couldn't handle me watching the stream, doing this on my phone, and like, I don't know what was wrong. Okay.
You need to load.
So I'm good now.
Oh my gosh, Deanna. Alright, I think that's everybody. Let's do it. But here the VIP. Start the game.
Okay, Mickey.
I need to just
Lacking badly. Oh,
I just need to not have the stream up.
Alright. Let's see how brave everyone is.
Oh, hi, I'm Schmitty. Let's get this party started. Everybody comfy? Great.
Yeah.
Round 1. I'm going to beam 2 prompts to your device. Answer them however you choose. What you type goes up against what someone else types, and everyone votes on the winner. The more people who vote for your answer, the better your score. Let's go.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do this. Everyone be funny. Ooh.
Come on, Darian. There we go, Darian.
Oh man, they're gonna suck.
All right, let's get to
Gonna
it.
suck.
Prompt number
These are
1 is
horrible.
put something in 98% of all cargo pants pockets. Okay, voting
Who
time. Pick
set
your
that
favorite.
up?
Kit Kats on Twitch. Why do I feel like somebody's speaking from experience? Of course it was. God damn it, Mickey.
Next, the term for a large group of bed bugs. Okay, vote.
Oh no. Bugaboo Nights and
Second one.
Next one, a bad name for a proctologist, Dr. Blank. Put in your votes.
the car guy.
I just got it.
I couldn't have.
Dr. Holing.
Your next prompt is, what keeps Adam Sandler
Don't
making movies?
encourage my bad humor like that.
Get to voting.
Shots of a shot, man.
Oh my god.
Me neither.
Round one's done.
Oh,
Let's see
God,
who's in the
crap.
lead.
Oh, Deanna. It's okay.
It's okay. I'm
Time for
lagging
round
badly.
two, where everything is worth
I'm
2 times as much as that
back.
silly round one.
Doubles.
just followed us, whoever followed, thank you so much. I can't see Streamlabs right now, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Spicy Papa 42069 for following.
Thank you.
Hope you're enjoying the madness.
Hurry, hit the safety quit button if you can't think of something.
What's the new feature? I don't remember seeing that before.
These guys are tough.
Time to share.
These are so
First
tough to
one,
find.
somebody who would make a terrible soccer goalie. Okay, choose your favorite.
Oh. My dog.
Skeleton in a pants. Would make a terrible soccer goalie. It should be, you like soccer?
Yay!
9. One shield.
Okay, next one. A phrase nobody in the
Okay,
history
now
of
that one.
mankind has ever uttered. Ready, set, vote.
Oh, wait, I gotta vote.
Oh my god,
A sign they should put up on the Florida state line. Vote away.
I'm gonna cry. Here lies.
This is how you do
So mean.
Man, I'm killing it this round.
Beware. You don't want to
Moving on. What the hare did with his life after losing to the tortoise.
Oh god.
Time to vote.
What did he do?
Oh no. Okay.
Oh god.
We've reached the end of round 2. Let's see what happens.
Oh god.
Me, I'm this place. I'm better than all of you. I'm just kidding.
This is
I'm
round
just
3,
here,
the
silly
last lash. Everyone gets the same one single prompt this time. Fill in this comic.
Comic. What? What the hell? What?
10 seconds.
Why did it send it?
Oh, wait, Nikki, hurry.
Oh, okay.
We're ready to look. In this round,
Okay,
you've
my
got
phone's
2 medals to give to your
glitched. I'm not
2
sure what I
favorite
said.
quips. Choose wisely.
Okay, mouse.
What the fuck?
Nothing.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, well, I'm an idiot. There we go. My bad.
Okay, let's bring out those medals. Here's the silver. And finally, gold. Medals are nice, but points are even nicer. So,
Aw, did you give me none?
that's all. Now for the final scores.
I'm better than all you got.
She was getting no points in the end, and she still won.
I'm the best. I'll make everything work.
The minus got still 102 Kit Kat. Tom, Kit Kat.
My dog.
My dog. My dog. Alrighty.
I'm getting fed up with this orgasm.
I remember that from Miss Camp of American Dad. Where's that from?
I can't remember recognizing from American Dad.
I have been watching a lot of American Dad.
I love American
It
Dad.
is from American Dad. Don't know why, but it just popped into my head.
That was brilliant.
Yep. Alright. How do I get out of it? How do I get back to Streamlabs? Gosh darn it. Do I have to close it? Well, closing it, like, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Okay.
Technical difficulties.
I don't know where it is. That's the problem. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere on my screen, but I don't know where it is. Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy, Jesus on my soul. Oh god.
Well, y'all, that was our game. That was our game for the night. I don't know. I'm worried that if I close it out, something's going to happen. I can't get to it right now, but we're still going. So yeah. So yeah, that was our end of the year stream. We are very happy that you guys got to join us tonight. We are going to try and attempt to use Twitch for all of our upcoming programming. So that includes art streams, video game streams, all that wonderful stuff. Of course, podcast episodes Kirk discusses will also be here now. We don't have a schedule yet. We will get back to you guys on a schedule for our channel. But yeah, we are very excited to kick off the end of the year with something new and exciting. So yeah, anybody got any last minute things you want to say?
Thank you guys for coming to the stream.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And up 2020.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
let's
much.
end this year with the bangs. See ya, 2020. It was nice knowing you. Not okay. Let's go see 2021, everybody. Cheers to a better 2021. It can't get any worse than 2020. Yay!
Don't jinx it.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Knock on wood. I'm on wood. Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Sheila jinxed this for the rest of us. Damn it.
Oh please, we were never jinxed. Okay, all right. Well, as we are used to ending closing of our podcast to go. Thank you for listening or streaming with us on Kira Kira Studios. My name is Shayla.
My name's Deanna.
My name's Darian.
And my name is Mickey.
We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you next year. Goodbye, everybody.
Actually, in a couple of days.